She texted, "I accidentally started a fire and burned down your childhood home. Insurance will cover it though." The house wasn't insured yet. I'd just inherited it 3 days ago. I replied, "Accidents happen." Then I discovered she'd done it deliberately to force me to move into her apartment. When the arson investigation report came back, original post, I, 38 male, am sitting here in a motel room, still smelling like smoke, trying to process how my girlfriend of 18 months just destroyed everything that mattered to me. 3 days ago, my grandmother passed. She left me her house, the one I grew up in after my parents died when I was 12. The one where she taught me to cook, where we built that treehouse out back, where 30 years of memories lived. The text came yesterday at 3:14 p.m. while I was at work. "Veronica, babe, I'm so sorry. I accidentally started a fire at your grandma's house. I was trying to surprise you by cleaning and knocked over a candle. Fire depth came, but it's bad. Don't worry though, insurance will cover everything." My hands went numb. I called her immediately. No answer. Called again, straight to voicemail. Raced over there. 40-minute drive felt like hours. The house, what was left of it, still had fire trucks parked outside. The entire second floor was gone. First floor was a blackened shell. The treehouse in the backyard, somehow untouched, looked like it was mourning too. Fire Chief Morrison pulled me aside. "You the owner?" "Yeah, just inherited it 3 days ago." "Your girlfriend said she had permission to be here?" I gave her a key last week to water the plants while I dealt with funeral stuff." He nodded, making notes. "She said it was a candle accident. We're investigating. Standard procedure. You'll need this report for insurance." "Right, insurance." My stomach dropped. Hadn't transferred the policy yet. Grandma's coverage ended when she died. I'd planned to call State Farm tomorrow. Found Veronica at her apartment later, crying dramatically on her couch. Her roommate Bethany was comforting her. "I'm so sorry," she wailed, throwing herself at me. "I just wanted to help. I know how hard this week has been." It's okay," I heard myself saying. "Accidents happen." She pulled back, mascara streaming. "You're not mad?" "I'm in shock. Just give me time to process." "Of course. Hey, you can stay here. We practically live together anyway, and now that the house is gone, it's perfect timing to make it official." Something in her voice. Too bright, too eager. "Maybe. I need to handle insurance first." "Already called them for you. Left a message saying it's urgent." "You called my insurance?" "Just trying to help, babe." Went back to the motel. Something felt wrong. Really wrong. Then I remembered. Veronica had been pushing hard for me to move in with her. Even before Grandma died. That old house is too far from downtown. Maintaining it will be expensive. We should get our own place together. And 2 weeks ago when I told her I was inheriting it and planning to move in, "But what about US? I don't want to live in some creepy old house an hour from my job." Logged into my Ring doorbell app. The camera was one of the few things that survived, being mounted on the detached garage. Started scrolling back. There she was. 2:47 p.m. Walking into the house with a red gas can. Update 1. My hands were shaking as I watched the footage. Veronica, clear as day, walking into my grandmother's house carrying a gas can at 2:47 p.m. She came out at 3:08 p.m. without it. At 3:11 p.m., smoke started visible from the windows. She stood in the driveway, watching for a full minute before calling 911. I downloaded everything, backed it up 3 times, emailed it to myself. Then I called my buddy Craig, who's a cop. "Need you to see something," I said. Met him at a Denny's, showed him the footage on my laptop. His face went dark. "This is arson, man, clear as day." "I know, you need to report this. Tonight, I will. But first, I need more proof of motive." Craig raised an eyebrow. "The footage isn't enough? I want her to hang herself, completely." Went to Veronica's apartment that night, acting normal. She was all over me, so supportive, so loving. Made me dinner, kept talking about how we decorate our place. "I cleared out half my closet for you," she announced proudly. "And look, I even made a Pinterest board for how we'll decorate." I scrolled through it, pretending to be interested. Then I saw it. 3 weeks ago, she'd pinned an article, "How to Convince Your Boyfriend to Take the Next Step." "This is nice," I said carefully. "When did you start planning this?" "Oh, just recently. After the fire, I realized it's like the universe telling us to move forward together." "Right, the universe. let her pour me wine, let her cuddle up to me, even kissed her goodnight, all while recording everything on my phone in my pocket. "I'm so glad you're not mad about the house," she whispered. "It was meant to be." Yeah, meant to be. Next morning, while she was in the shower, I went through her phone. She'd left it unlocked on the nightstand. Her text with Bethany from yesterday. "Bethany, did you actually do it?" "Had to. He was never going to leave that moldy old place." "Girl, you're crazy. What if you get caught?" "I won't. He's too upset about his grandma to think straight. Besides, insurance will pay for everything. Win-win." "This is insane, even for you." Desperate times. That house was the only thing keeping him from moving in. Problem solved. Screenshots. All of them. Sent to my phone, then found her search history. 2 days before the fire. How hot does fire need to be to destroy a house? How long before fire department responds? Rural area. Accidental fires. What do investigators look for? Gas can purchases traced. She bought the gas can with cash at a station 30 miles away. Found the receipt in her purse. Photographed that too. When she came out of the shower, I was dressed and ready to leave. "Where you going, babe?" "Insurance office, then police station." She went white. "Police? Why?" "Standard procedure for fires. Need the report for claims." Oh, right. Of course. "Want me to come?" "No need. Rest up. You've been through a lot." The smile she gave me, so relieved, so satisfied with herself. Update 2, filed the police report that afternoon. Detective Riley took one look at the ring footage and immediately called the arson investigator. "Ma'am, we need you to come down to the station," they told Veronica over the phone. She called me, hysterical. "They want to question me. Can you believe it? Like I'm some criminal." "Just tell them what happened," I said calmly. "About the candle." "Exactly. The candle? You'll vouch for me, right? Tell them it was an accident?" "I'll tell them exactly what I know." She showed up at the station in her best innocent outfit, sundress, cardigan, minimal makeup. I was already there with Detective Riley, watching through one-way glass. They started easy, asked her to walk through what happened. "I went to clean as a surprise for my boyfriend. He's been so sad about his grandmother. I lit a candle for the smell. The house was musty. Then I knocked it over reaching for something. It caught the curtains and spread so fast." "Which room were you in?" "The living room." "That's interesting," Riley said, pulling out photos. "Because the fire originated in the basement, according to our investigators. Accelerant was used. Gasoline." That's impossible." "Also interesting, we have doorbell footage of you entering with a gas can." The mask slipped for just a second. Pure panic. Then she rallied. "I was bringing gas for the lawnmower. James asked me to." Riley looked at me through the glass. I shook my head. "Mr. Thompson says he never asked you to bring gasoline. He must have forgotten. He's been so stressed." "We also have your text messages, Miss Coleman. Your friend Bethany was very cooperative." That's when she knew she was done. But instead of confessing, she doubled down. "You don't understand. That house was ruining everything. He was going to leave me for a house, a stupid old falling apart house. I did this for US. "So you admit to setting the fire?" I want a lawyer." "Well, that's your right, but you should know Mr. Thompson provided us with extensive evidence. Your search history, the gas can receipt, the messages with your roommate, and a recording where you admitted the fire was meant to be." She looked at the mirror, knowing I was behind it. "James, tell them you understand. Tell them we're in love. You said accidents happen. You said it was okay." I stepped into the room. "I said accidents happen. This wasn't an accident, Veronica. You set me up." "No, you burned down my grandmother's house, the house where I grew up. The house with every photo album, every keepsake, every memory of my dead parents and the grandmother who raised me." "For what? Because you wanted me to move into your apartment?" "It was supposed to be covered by insurance. No one was supposed to get hurt." Detective Riley stood up. "Miss Coleman, you're under arrest for first-degree arson, insurance fraud, and destruction of property." As they cuffed her, she screamed at me. "I did this for you, for us. You'll never find anyone who loves you like I do." "I really hope that's true," I replied. Update 3. The entitlement escalated immediately after her arrest. Within hours, her mother Gloria was blowing up my phone. "How dare you have my daughter arrested? She made a mistake. She's a good girl who loves you. She burned down my house, Gloria. She was trying to help your relationship. You're too attached to the past. A real man would understand. A real woman wouldn't commit arson. I'm calling my lawyer. You're gonna pay for this. Your daughter is facing 5 to 10 years. Maybe focus on that. Then came the social media campaign. Bethany, the roommate who'd flipped immediately when cops showed up, suddenly grew a spine online. My bestie is in jail because her toxic ex couldn't let go of a moldy old house. He tricked her into confessing. Free Veronica, toxic masculinity. Some of Veronica's friends started sharing it. The narrative was that I'd emotionally manipulated her into making a mistake and then vindictively had her arrested instead of working through it like adults. My favorite comment from her cousin, that house was probably worthless anyway. Insurance would have overpaid. He should be thanking her. Then Gloria tried a new angle. She showed up at my motel at 11 p.m. drunk. Please, she slurred. Just drop the charges. She's my only daughter. She didn't mean it. She loves you so much she went crazy. Gloria, go home. I'll pay for the damages. How much was that old dump worth anyway? 20,000? 30? It's not about money. Everything's about money. Name your price. Your daughter destroyed the only thing I had left of my family. There's no price for that. You're being dramatic. It's just walls and a roof. Good night, Gloria. She left screaming about how I'd ruined her baby's life over nothing. But the real entitlement came from Veronica herself. She called from jail the next day. Baby, I need you to bail me out. Absolutely not. What? But I'm your girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend. You burned down my house. I did it for you, so we could start fresh. You're being so ungrateful. Ungrateful, right? When I get out, we need couples counseling. This whole thing has shown me we have communication issues. I actually laughed. Veronica, you're going to prison. Stop being so dramatic. First offense, I'll get probation. Then we can work on us. There is no us. You don't mean that. You're just upset. Look, the house was old anyway. Your grandma was a hoarder. I did you a favor cleaning that mess out of your life. I hung up. Her public defender called me 2 days later. Miss Coleman wants to make a deal. She'll plead guilty to a lesser charge if you agree to speak on her behalf at sentencing. No deal. She's also requesting you return her belongings from your motel room. What belongings? She says she had clothes, jewelry, and electronics at your place. My place burned down, with all my belongings. If she left anything there, she destroyed it herself. She means the motel. She's never stayed at my motel. She has nothing here. She insists you have her grandmother's ring. Her grandmother is alive and lives in Florida. Nice try, though. The lawyer sighed. Between you and me, this is the most entitled client I've ever had. She genuinely doesn't understand why she's in trouble. Update 4. 3 weeks after the arrest, things got worse. Veronica made bail. Gloria put up her house as collateral. First thing she did, showed up at the remains of my grandmother's house while I was there with the insurance adjuster. What are you doing here? She demanded. This is my property, Veronica. You're violating the restraining order. I came to get my things. What things? I left a box in the basement when I was cleaning. The insurance adjuster looked confused. Ma'am, you need to leave. Not until I get my property. There was jewelry in that box worth thousands. You mean the basement you filled with gasoline and set on fire? I asked. She actually had the audacity to look offended. I didn't think it would burn everything, just enough to make the house unlivable. The insurance adjuster's eyes went wide. He started recording on his phone. Veronica, stop talking, I said. Not for her benefit, for the evidence. No, you owe me. I invested 18 months in this relationship. I decorated your apartment. I planned our future. I burned down a house for you. Keep going. The prosecutor will love this. She realized her mistake. I accidentally, the candle. Ma'am, the adjuster said, I need to report this conversation to the police. Veronica ran to her car and peeled out. The restraining order violation got her arrested again that evening. But she wasn't done. From jail, she had Gloria file a civil suit against me for emotional distress, breach of promise, and unjust enrichment. The claim was that I'd promised to marry her. She'd made investments in our relationship based on that promise, and I was now profiting from her absence. The unjust enrichment claim was my favorite. She argued that since insurance would pay out more than the house was worth, it wouldn't because I wasn't insured. I was actually benefiting from her crime. My lawyer Kurt laughed so hard he cried when he read it. This is the dumbest lawsuit I've seen in 20 years. They know there's no insurance, right? I told Gloria multiple times, let me handle this. He filed a countersuit, wrongful destruction of property, intentional infliction of emotional distress, trespassing, harassment. Asked for $1.2 million, the value of the house, the contents, and punitive damages. Gloria called me screaming. You're suing US? After everything you've put us through? Your daughter burned down my house. On purpose. It was a cry for help. She needs therapy, not prison. Should have thought of that before committing arson. Drop the lawsuit and we'll drop ours. No. See you in court. The criminal trial was set for 2 months out. In the meantime, Veronica kept escalating. She violated the restraining order 3 more times. Twice by having friends approach me with messages, once by creating a fake social media account to harass me. Each violation added to her charges. Her lawyer begged her to stop. She didn't. Final update. The trial was quick. The evidence was overwhelming. The ring footage, the texts, the gas can receipt, her confession at the police station, her admission to the insurance adjuster, her search history. It was a prosecutor's dream. Veronica took the stand against her lawyer's advice. She tried to paint herself as a woman driven to desperation by love. I just wanted us to start fresh together. James was stuck in the past, hoarding his grandmother's junk. I did what I had to do for our future. The prosecutor destroyed her on cross. You researched how to commit arson. I was curious. You bought gasoline 30 miles away with cash, for privacy. You texted your friend that you had to burn the house. It was a joke. You stood and watched it burn for a full minute before calling 911. I was in shock. From the accident you planned for 3 weeks? She started crying. Not pretty tears, angry, frustrated tears. You don't understand. He was going to choose that house over me. A house. I'm a person. I matter more than some old building. So you destroyed it? Yes, and I'd do it again. He should be grateful. I freed him from that burden. Her lawyer put his head in his hands. The jury deliberated for 45 minutes. Guilty on all counts: first-degree arson, insurance fraud, destruction of property over $500,000, criminal mischief. At sentencing, Gloria stood up to speak. Your Honor, my daughter is a good person who made one mistake. She's never been in trouble before. Prison will ruin her life. The judge looked at her notes. Mrs. Coleman, your daughter planned and executed arson. She destroyed irreplaceable family heirlooms and photos. She showed no remorse until caught. She violated her restraining order 4 times. She admitted on the stand she'd do it again. This isn't a mistake. It's a pattern of entitled, destructive behavior. Veronica got 7 years. She screamed when they announced it. 7 years? For trying to save my relationship? As they led her away, she yelled at me, I hope you die alone in that burned house. No one will ever love you like I did. Gloria tried to attack me in the parking lot. Craig had to restrain her. She's now facing assault charges. The civil trial was even quicker. Gloria couldn't afford a real lawyer after paying for Veronica's defense. She represented herself and tried to argue that I'd entrapped her daughter. The judge awarded me $1.2 million. Gloria's house, the one she'd put up for Veronica's bail, had to be sold. They're both bankrupt. But here's the thing. I don't care about the money. It won't bring back my grandmother's handwritten recipes. It won't restore the height marks on the kitchen doorframe from when I was growing up. It won't return the last voicemail my mom left on the old answering machine I'd saved for 26 years. Veronica took all of that from me because she felt entitled to control my life. I'm rebuilding on the same lot. Smaller house, simpler. The tree house is still standing. Turned out Grandma built that thing to survive anything. Sometimes I sit up there with a beer, looking at the new foundation being poured. My new girlfriend, Emma, met her at grief counseling. Her ex destroyed her father's classic car collection during their divorce. Asked me if I regret not just dropping the charges, avoiding all the drama. She burned down my family home to manipulate me into moving in with her. I said, what would she have done next time she didn't get her way? Emma nodded. Mine sugar-bombed 3 restored Mustangs because I wouldn't quit my job to be a stay-at-home wife. These people don't stop. They really don't. Got a letter from Veronica last week from prison. Somehow she still doesn't get it. James, I've had time to think and I forgive you for overreacting. When I get out, we should talk. 5 years with good behavior isn't that long. I'll wait for you. We're meant to be together. P.S. You owe me for my grandmother's ring that burned in the fire. $5,000 should cover it. Her grandmother called me yesterday, by the way, from Florida, wearing all her rings. Wanted to apologize for her granddaughter and daughter both being complete idiots. I told Gloria not to bail her out, she said. Girl needed to learn consequences 50 tantrums ago. The house should be finished next month. Already installed the best security system money can buy. Cameras everywhere. Fireproof safe for the few photos I have left. Grabbed them from my apartment before all this started, thank God. Sometimes I drive by Gloria's old house, the one she lost because of Veronica's bail. New family lives there now. Kids playing in the yard. Normal people living normal lives without committing felonies over relationship issues. That's all I wanted, a normal life in my grandmother's house. Instead, I got a front row seat to the most expensive tantrum in history. But hey, at least I found out who she really was before we actually moved in together. Imagine if I'd discovered this level of entitlement after marriage. Or kids. Silver linings, I guess. The contractor just called. They found Grandma's cast iron skillet in the rubble, somehow intact. Things survived the Chicago fire, according to family legend, and now it survived Veronica. Maybe I'll use it to cook dinner for Emma tomorrow. New memories in a new house, built on the ashes of what an entitled woman thought she could take from me. She took my past, but she didn't take my future. And she's got 7 years to think about that.